there is two things is important, I think, for my life: to producing art with good way, and also to to make some good time with my family. So for me, my family is also important. For me, my art is also important. So as my part of my that story, so I always try to make some observation how my family also moving on. So this is also important for me. Sometimes I get some gesture, I get some inspirations, I get some energy from my family. So sometimes, yeah, sometimes it makes some difficulties to uh, get get myself more isolate or something like that. But this is also a challenge, how you are facing it, how you are manage it or solve it. So I always try to get some challenge, get some um, obstacles. So this is not kind of a obstacles, this is also, it's kind of a challenge, but it's also making some things in a positive way. So I enjoy it, and I try to do my own work also within it. So I think this is also good. How I am belong with the Sufism, or how I am belong with the spirit of humanity. So I think for me as a human being, first I think this is very important how I am considering my life, what is actually my life is. So I think this is more important how I am spending each and every time in my life. So this is important for my um, every gesture. So whenever I think, whenever I take any step, it could be for my ordinary life activities, or even for my art practice, or teaching planning, or some interaction with others. So I believe that there is a spirit of each and every person, and also in the nature. So I try to invent this spirit from others, where actually uh, the true essence of beauty, true essence of the real truth. So this is important, I think. And for my art practice, sometimes I also go with that uh, that spirit sometimes I use to cultivate the soul itself, where actually the soul is, how it is working in our body and mind. So I have so many interpretation with my works, how actually soul is working, where we are actually from, and actually how we are surviving in our own world and where will we go. So this is also a very difficult and tough questions, how I'm trying to discover. And sometimes whenever I go through the all legendary philosophers in the world, then I can also try to understand actually how they are also try to exploring the things. So I think, yeah, this is very important for me, and I think this is also important for the society, even the for the world. So world is getting so many dividations in different way. There is so many problems all the time, so many things are happening. So if you need some space, so you need to be feel about yourself first, and then you can also be a chance to feel others, and then you can make a bindings, make a relationships, and then it creates something to be happen in a good way. So I believe this thing. The spirit of mother, the idea of mother. So I think mother is a word where the true spirit involved with this word. So mother is a relationship with her own kid without any bondings, without any give and take way or anything like that. Because mother loves her kid without getting anything from from her kids. So it's a it's a natural true spirit, and it's a very concrete idea. So for me, uh, I think I am also fascinating with my mother, my motherhood, and also fascinating with my family, because I have the experience to know the all gesture when a person, a mother, wish to becoming a mother, and then when she is inside in her inside to carry the kid, then how she's spending all the time, how she is try to getting involved with it, and when she's delivery her kid, and how she just transformed the spirit of her. So this idea really fascinating me, and then I try to discover that idea with my traveling uh, mode. So whenever I travel anywhere, it could be in my country, in other city, or it could be abroad in any country. So what I do, I take the form of Ma, that is my own language, because my first language, my first learning from my mother, because maybe I learned the first word Ma from my mom. So I just take my language, that word Ma, and also I put the ornamental writing like a ma with a love pattern. It's from the rickshaw painting. So rickshaw painting is also our native art, and this is also motherland, from the motherland, because you can get that rickshaw painting in Bangladesh. So why not I am taking something, the true essence from Bangla. So I take the rickshaw paintings gesture, because I have a good friend of rickshaw painter. he always makes some conversation and sharing, and sometimes we collaborate each other for producing and developing our ideas. So he helped me for producing that uh, rickshaw painting with ma form. And whenever I travel anywhere, I try to discover different mother, new mother. I try to make an interaction with new mother, and it's kind of a interactive action with photography with the documentation of mother herself with that form, that ma with la pattern. So I think whenever I go, even for my end of the life, I try to carry with that series in my life. So this is also kind of a message, because again the soul is coming on, the soul. So mother spirit is also a true soul, because if you try to meet a true mother, if you meet and if you reach it, then your mind is becoming in a very positive, very peaceful, and the idea if spread all over the world, then world becoming peace. So that's actually how I am working. When I did that documentary, I when I just invited them in my studio for being part of my documentary. So I told them that I need to get some um, s- story about yourself, how you are um, staying in a city, how you are working, how you are passing every step, and where actually you are from. So, who's are agreed to get involved for my documentary? I just covered those women, because I had other women also. Few they denied, because they are not enough courage to meet me in front of a camera. So who's are actually participated in my artwork, they really have some courage, and they're really special for me. And actually, this the way how I able to get the story about them. This is not only for only for the story for them only. Actually, you can find so many women in Bangladesh who suffer in same way. Maybe it's not only they are working in garments. Maybe without working in garments, maybe other way they are also suffering. So it's a point that I get I, some stories which is like common thing in in my surroundings. So it is not only those 7 or 8 women. They only have that kind of stories. Nothing else for others. This is not something like that. They just try to express their own story with very courageous way, and rest of maybe they are not try to share the story to others, because some mostly they're afraid about media, they're afraid about creative peoples who are trying to work with them, because it's a very challenging for to get some things from their inner side, which is not very easy to discover.
আছে আমার আব্বা আমার ভাই বোন আমি বড় তো
আচ্ছা
আর কি আমার আব্বা অসুস্থ মা অসুস্থ এই জন্য
আচ্ছা
আমি গার্মেন্টসে এসে ঢুকছি অনেক কষ্ট ছিল আমাদের ফ্যামিলিতে আর কি এই ধরনের সমস্যা ছিল না কিন্তু প্রথম প্রথম মানে অফিসে চাকরি করছি তো
হুম
জ্বরটা হয়েছিল তারপরও অনেক কষ্ট করতে হয়েছে বাধ্য হয়ে
আচ্ছা
কী করবো সংসারে অভাব এই জন্য আমার অনেক সময় হয় যে আমার আব্বা আমার যদি কিছু থাকতো তাহলে আমি পড়াশোনা করতে পারতাম এখন নাই বিলে দেখে আমি কষ্ট করে করতেছি এই আমি এই যে করি যে আমার আব্বা আমাদের মানে তিনবেলা আর কি খাইতে তো পারে এই অনেক কষ্ট নিয়ে আর কি করি এটি আমার আনন্দ এটি খুশি এখন বর্তমানে প্রাইভেট কাজ চালাই কেউ হ্যাঁ খুবই কম কম সময় আর কি আবার যেহেতু ঈদের দিকে যাই আবার ভিড় থাকে এই জন্য আর কি যাওয়া পড়ে না মা বাবা ভাই বোন সবার সাথে দেখা হয় বাড়ির আরও জাস্ত বোন আছে সবার সাথে আল্লাহ খুব কষ্ট লাগে কিন্তু আমার কাছে মনে হয় ভালো দেশি সবার সাথে দিন কাটাতে পারি এই জন্যই ভালো লাগে হ্যাঁ স্বাধীনতা বেশি থাকে দেখেই ভালো লাগে স্বাধীনতার জন্য
আমি কি বাংলাদেশে কি নাগরিক নয়? আমার প্রশ্ন হলো এটা, আমি কি বাংলাদেশের কেউ না? আমি কেন ফার্স্ট মানে শিক্ষিত হলাম? এটা তো দরকারই ছিল না। আমি আজকে যদি একটা যদি পড়ে বা ইন্টারভিউ যদি পড়ে দেখা যাচ্ছে আমি কিছু করতাম আজকে আমি হয়তো বা অন্যদের চেয়ে ভালো থাকতে পারতাম, কিন্তু আমি তো আজকে পথে পথে ঘুরে বেড়াচ্ছি এই টিউশন বাবার সমস্যা। তো আমার আজকে ওভার হয়ে গেছে, সবাই চাকরি নেই। তো এখন উনি যেটা বলছেন যে আমরা কর্মসংস্থান ব্যাংকে লোন দিব, লোন দিয়ে কিছু করে খাও, কিন্তু আমার মনে হয় দেশ নেত্রী এবং
every day I read newspaper. Even in my country, every people read newspaper and they get so many stories about those Cinderellas. Maybe they are raise their vocal for some issues. Sometimes they are beaten. Sometimes they are harassed by police. Sometimes even killed. Sometimes they're raped, and so many stories. So every day I face them. I get them in a new way, and Also, whenever I go outside, I meet them. So in my particular residencies program, I try to focus more concentrately. I try to discover them in a uh, way of cultivating process, and I try to make it in art form. So I again try to invited them to make the documentary, to know about their authentic story. Actually, is this real that I get in newspaper? Is it true or not true? So when I got my documentations, I got so many stories about them to their voice directly. Then I have the also the courage. I have also the same understanding that I read in newspaper, or sometimes I listening in radio or watch in TV. So I just tell her that why not you are coming today, because you can see the original work, and also you can have a chance to see the video footage also. So এগুলো সব landscape. এটা একটু painting. এটা